Hey everyone, hope you are doing well. Today I'm doing a wolf cut mullet. I've been getting a lot of requests for these types of haircuts, so I'm going to be doing one real time, step by step here on this channel. So I am literally ready to go, and what I've got here is a mannequin this is a new mannequin. Let's just get rid of this hair right here, just like this. And I'm just doing this to kind of cover more ground. All right, so we've created our kind of base subsection, and now I'm ready to start working this all in. I'm just trying to go in and just cut, I think what would be a good length to work with. And you can cut the bottom length in a variety of different ways. You can do it where, like what I'm doing is I'm just holding the comb straight down like this. I'm not really utilizing my hands. That's one way of doing it. And again, anytime I try to do these haircuts, it's always trying to be cautious for the camera. Trying to really make sure I can get this even and not stand in the way of the camera view or the camera angle. And my first section is I'm going to cut upwards like this. I'm taking my first section and I'm cutting upwards. Next, I'm going to just follow the head shape, and you can see I'm not necessarily over directing, but I am cutting shorter here and the longer down here. So it's got kind of like a short here, long to flow. And once you have your guide, then you can work your way up and you can follow. And then what I'm doing is I'm slightly pulling my fingers out. So the further away your fingers are from the head, AKA like this, the longer the hair is going to be. The closer you keep your fingers to the scalp area, obviously it's going to be shorter. I mean, it kind of looks like that. Even visually, if you're holding a whole bunch of hair and, it's close to the scalp, obviously it's going to be much shorter. But I think I want to just kind of point that out because I think it can be a little confusing sometimes when people are cutting and they say, well, I'm holding it by my fingers, but how far do I pull out? That all depends on how, long you want the haircut to be honest with you, okay? So if you get a piece from the top, that's fine. You can incorporate it into this because it's going to get cut anyway. But what I'm doing now in this part is I'm kind of just over-directing back towards me a little bit. And this is really crucial right in through here. So I'm pulling this and over-directing this all the way back towards me behind the ear like so. And that is going to create a little bit of a separation right in through here, which as you can see, it creates this. However, this is what we're going to use to now blend this all in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this up this way. Here's the guide from the previous section in the front, and I'm going to comb all this out like so. And there it is. I'm blending and connecting these two areas. So I'm over directing and pulling. So let's get a close look. You can see. You can see what I've done in through here, right in that area, is see that? Gone from down here into there. Now, let's do the same thing on this side here because we got to follow the flow here. We got to keep this moving. And a lot of it is me working around the head shape. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to actually go in and check this horizontally. Okay, all right, let's turn this way. Yeah, and there's all that hair right there that I couldn't see before. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna clean up the bottom length here, just to make this line a little bit stronger here. All right, cool. And this is exactly the kind of look that I'm looking for, is, you know, this shorter bit into here, and then I can easily just go back in and blend all of this when we're ready to move on to this part. But we're even Steven now, we're looking good. So this is the front right here of the head, and I'm just gonna work my way to the front. And yes, this technically is layering. It's layering, and you need to have your hair layered. If you want to have any sort of movement, any sort of shape to it, it all has to be layered, okay? That's the biggest thing that I think a lot of people, when they're getting their hair cut, especially, and yes, if you do have curly hair, if you have wavy hair, the shorter the layers go on top, the more that the curl is going to be enhanced, to be honest with you. It's going to be more enhanced. It's going to curl more, it's going to wave more, and it's giving you the opportunity to have a bit more freedom and flexibility throughout the top here. Great, this is working out good. I'm not, you know, to be honest with you, this is human hair. The way this is stitched, this is from an Asian manufacturer. Very, very different. Very different compared to how the mannequins I'm usually used to working with, to be 100% honest. You know, are they awful? No, not at all. But the hair, the way, the shape, it's very, very different. All right, so now let's go to the top. The very, very, very top. There's the face right there. Okay, so I'm gonna cut horizontal sections now. So when I cut the top, I always talk about the top, the corners, and the sides. That's the way that I cut hair, and that's the way that I think I found things to be a lot more efficient, going, you know, top, corners, and sides. Now, what's interesting is that as we get towards the front, this hair is getting a lot thicker. I've noticed, like the density is a lot thicker, which is the complete opposite from the sides. I find it very interesting how they've stitched this. Something definitely different than what I'm used to, where this is like really fine in here, and then there's like a ton of hair right into here. So I wonder why that is. All right, so corners right into here, and then let's go into the sides. Now we already cut the sides. However, I'm gonna connect that right into these shorter pieces right here. Okay, there's the corner. Let's go all the way down into the side, even though it's a little bit, but that part is just as important right there. Let's over direct this back slightly. And now let's cut this side piece right there. All right. So now what I'm going to do, as you can see how this blended itself in throughout here. Let's turn this way. Let's get it right here. And now what I'm going to do is do some scissor over comb just to complete this look and this blend right here on this side. What happens is when you see the guides from underneath, then you're going to start to, you know, feel a bit more confident, because you know that that longer hair is what needs to come off. Okay, like look at all this right here. Well, that whole thing needs to come off. Here we go right here. And it should leave you with like a longer front piece like that, which we still are going to work in. So how do we cut that front piece? Well, it depends on how long you want the hair to be in the front. So we're going to give this, let's just go about right here. I'm just going to point cut this just like so. Now, keep in mind, even though we're point cutting this, it still needs to be layered into here. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate right now. So I'm going to cut this going shorter to longer. This is the important part of hair cutting, is understanding all of this If you do not hold the hair up vertically, horizontally, change your body position, move the hair around, chances are, a lot of times, unfortunately, especially with barbers, is they cut hair to where it looks good visually, but not technically. And that can go for anybody. The hair may look phenomenal visually, but from a technical aspect, it could be completely wrong from a number of different angles. It could be 100%, and that's where, if your haircut is growing out awkwardly or doesn't feel like it's laying right or something just doesn't seem right, it's probably because, in all honesty, it's not cut right from a technical perspective. All right, I'm loving this. This is all looking good and working in this way. I'm just gonna once again finish up these little bits into here. Let's flick this up even more. That side's okay. Now let's get to work on this side over here. Here is the somewhat finished haircut. Let's just clean this up. Unfortunately, I bought a whole bunch of these mannequin heads, and they're absolutely awful, to be honest with you. Absolutely awful. Let's see what we got here. So I'm going to style it now. I'm just going to double, triple check, make sure, kind of where we're at with all of this. See how I'm looking as far as the blending goes. And I'm already seeing a couple of things that I'm not crazy about. So let's work on that right now. There we go. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of tweaking to make everything just right. And that one little area, I wasn't crazy about how that was laying. So yeah, right there. There it is. So that's the thing about going in and redoing and retweaking haircuts is you can always go back and look for trouble. You can troubleshoot, basically. You can troubleshoot to make sure that everything is flowing better. Right in the front, there's a couple spritzes throughout the back here. I'm overspraying this because I do want to have a lot of texture. So with Tidal Wave, the more you spray it, the heavier it's going to be as far as not heavy in a bad way. I mean, just you're going to get more texture in the hair. All right, you're going to get more volume the more you spray it. All right, we're ready to blow dry. Just going to do some detailing work here. A little bit of scissor over comb right in this area. And I'm trying to work this on an angle. I'm working this on an angle going shorter down into the back so it connects a bit more this way, like this. Okay, that's the whole point of this look, is I'm really trying to create almost like a kind of a downhill, if you say, movement and blend. So we're kind of into the length. Now, as far as the finished style goes, you can do it in a variety of different ways. I'm going for more of a kind of cyberpunk look in through here, as you all can see. And the whole shape I have, working a bit more downwards. And you can tame this You know, if you want to tame it, you can. So let's take a little bit of a wider shot so you can see all this. So here's all the hair, you know, down in through here, how it flows into the bottom. Here's the back, as you could see. So we do have some length, some texture throughout the back here. You know, this is definitely not a super easy haircut from a technical perspective. I've seen tons and tons of variations of this. I don't know how technically sound some of them are. They look okay, but from my perspective, this is definitely a more advanced haircut because it requires a lot of, you know, balancing, reshaping, reworking, things like that. But, you know, I guess this is the modern, you know, wolf cut mullet, if you want to call it that. And again, you can pull this down this way. It doesn't have to be all spiked up. You know, you can do some varieties with this. You know, I like having it a bit more up off the face. It just gives it a little more of a modern type of feel, to be honest with you. You know, you can make this as wild as you want, as punk as you want. You know, you can make it as subtle as you want by just, you know, taming everything down this way and having it more kind of hanging down towards the face. You know, a little bit of a light fringe. You can see the hair comes down to about right here. So there is some length throughout the front. But just with tidal wave alone, and if you have Asian hair, if you've got really thick kind of stubborn hair, and you're looking for a really, really good product that's gonna help add a little bit of that, you know, that texture that you need so it's not so soft and fly away, tidal wave is really gonna be a good option for you, I think. All right, and you can use code YouTube20. That's YouTube20 at shop.thesalonguy.com. I hope you all enjoy this. Let me know what you thought about this haircut. Would you get this? Are you rocking something like this? Where are you going? Are you going to a barber for this, a hairstylist? I'd love to know in the comments below. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.